Today is July 1st, 2026. A lot has happened over the last few days. Unreal. I told you about June 26, 26, about that girl showing up at a Dutch Valley restaurant. Okay? That Carl and I are sitting in a booth and about a half a wall. There's like a half wall built into it. Here's the girl on the other side. I'm the one they're stealing everything for. I seen her in a restaurant. The girl, does he think it's funny bringing her here? Who's that? I don't know. Boom. Who is that? I don't know. Then the older people she's sitting with talking about Dave. I said, Dave, they seem to know you. Hits the back of my booth so hard, knocks me into a table. Dave, who are those people? I don't know. I said, you want to leave? We already ordered our food. And I said, can I sit over there with you? He wraps his arm around me, he scowls at them. I said, are you okay? And I said, who are those people? I don't know. Told Danny there was some crazy blonde girl throwing her body in the back of the booth. Okay, it's her. People have said that was for grandparents. The 3 sets of mean parents waiting for me to die. It's her. That's Henry Moffey's baby. The one that admitted September 30th, 25. This whole thing is her family's dad to drug dealers. The biker brought her down and yelled at him. No one's to say, the guys running it said, no one's to say a word to her again in her life. They found out this whole thing is your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes. Does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know. She doesn't even know who you are, and you had her raped and tortured or skull bashed in because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. And I listened to her and her friend Matt talk January 13th, 23, that the Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life because they thought he let all those people be human trafficked, and it was your family letting him be human trafficked to pay off those debts to drug dealers, and your family even human trafficked people to pay off those debts to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. She sold children and she's sorry. And it was your family inciting her new husband's family to steal his farm by threatening his life? Well, yeah, but I really wanted it. I like it. Did you know by August of 23, the original cartel had already confessed they photoshopped everything? Yeah, I know it. They even confronted her ex-husband that if he knew it was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors. It made her sick before? Yeah, I know that. And they encouraged them to sue those doctors for years? Yeah, I knew that. Then if you put January 1926, where at the beginning of the case, Instagram, I used to have an account, got a message, I think you're beautiful. Random person looked it up and said Henry Moffey. Said something about love on the beach and something else. I don't know him from Adam, some weirdo. I go out to stores, people are talking about him. And then people saying they're drug traders and human traffickers from Florida. You watch them go out and get in their vehicles. A guy looks like him driving by with them. It's like, what on earth? Here it's him. I hadn't heard anything from the riffraff people yelling stuff at me about him in a long time. I figured the cops or feds got him, or he took off. Carl and I are on the way out to Fairlawn, and I turn on, I told him, I said, you know, these people yelling threats at me, they need to realize I'm an FBI informant. They can kiss the judge's ass that signed it. They can kiss the FBI's ass. They can kiss Agent John's ass. And they can kiss my government immunity, government protected informant ass. I'm tired of them. They can't touch me with their scam. I turn on MC Hammer. You can't touch this, and we're dancing around the car, joking around, laughing. We go in, and apparently it pissed him off, and Navi came in and confessed. I go in there, he's in there with another guy. I go in and sit down, Carl had to go to the bathroom. He's like, I'm the one that got a hold of her online. I thought, you look like him, but thinner. A picture of him, but thinner. Okay? He said, with those messages I sent, I prove she was cheating. That's not me cheating. That's him being a weirdo. I don't know you. He said, I tell all men she's not good enough for another man. And I'm glad I never met her in person. I thought, fuck you. You wouldn't have got a pity it. I was the horse's ass. And he said, officers that watch her for the case, they only watch her because they feel sorry for her dancing around the car like a little kid with her husband. I thought they liked me, and there's a court order. He said, I'm the one that is inciting her new husband's family, that I'll steal the farm for them. What that girl say? It's her family. He said, and I found out her new husband's son was down there vandalizing stuff on the farm. Told him to stay out of it. I'll steal out everything for them. Okay? The girl said they're trying to steal for her farm. Okay? He said, I found out the other Michelle is telling on us for what we're actually doing. My God, he confessed. He said, but they can't use it. Well, they can use your confession, you idiot. There was another Michelle in the group. I guess an agent dated her on a ruse. Got her to confess March 27th, 25, after midnight outside my work. He was talking out loud. He was talking loud. He said, I got it out of Michelle that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors, and she actually don't know who he is. And when they bashed in her head, they tried to kill her, leaving her incompetent, and it didn't work. And soon she told me I broke up with him. I broke up with her, and he had got it on my ex-husband and girlfriend from before me made him marry me to get a job at my dad's factory, and that she'd have free insurance to use, and he could give her extra money. The lady using my insurance, running up medical bills in my name, have my medical records for some other ladies. It was David and girlfriend. I had chest pains for days. And he had got it out of that family. That was telling everybody it offended him. Strange called her a faker. I asked him, why on earth would you say it? 6 months later she had nothing to do with that traffic accident? Said they were all lying to the FBI. That it didn't even concern them. They were trying to help these people get away with this. So they were all in there lying. March 20th, 26th, Walmart West Husk by the electronics. And investigate. Now that agent sat outside on the 27th, March 27th, 25. He was going to go find an agent, one of the agents over my case. Well, he showed up. An investigator from 18. I could hear, I recognize his voice. We were in the electronics on March 20th, 26th, Walmart West Husk. He said, I haven't found one bit of this funny since an FBI agent showed up in my office and told me that that family that was running around telling everybody it had offended him, Strange calling her a faker years ago, that it didn't even concern him. That they were all lying to the FBI when they were in that office. And I found out Strange hated the government, and that's why he tried it with us. And I don't believe one bit she ever threatened Katie. If you listen to Karen, Katie's always dated Tim. So why would she? Well, I never threatened Katie. Haven't even talked to her in years. Only said hi to her walking by maybe 2010, 2011. I wasn't even a member of that church since 03. In 2011, They were making up stories, getting down to Blaylock's where I was going. Asked Dave if I could go over there. I went like there twice with him. The place gave me nightmares. To find out why they were making up lies, and nobody told me I didn't go back. I had nothing to do with them. 15 years for the case, and that's about it. If she would have said hi walking by in the mall, we would have acknowledged her, but otherwise, we avoided her. She dated Tim, and then in 2011, she started making up lies. She was going out with Dave, and Dave got mad enough, he quit his church. Dave hadn't even went there in years. She always dated Tim since before 01. And so we would walk on the other side of the kiosk, or if we didn't get a chance to get on the other side of the kiosk, didn't even say anything when we walked by her store. So she couldn't say we said anything. See, that's where last year in Walmart 62 there was investigators. These people said Karen was threatening all these women Dave was going out with. We followed everyone around when the case started. Karen was at home, working on the house, or out with her family. Dave was supposed to be at work, and he was going out with all kinds of women. She had no clue he was cheating on her. We told him to quit lying in 18. If she would have known about all those women he was going out with, she would have divorced him in a heartbeat. Okay? They took care of that one in 18 too. December 9th, 18, I taped Dave admitting I never caught him with anyone. There was no one to threaten. And I wouldn't have wasted my breath anyways. I would have screamed at him and divorced him. Okay? Well, after that agent got it out, that other Michelle Real Pretty one, Carl seen her April 17th, 25. Her and her friends were following me around, and she walks out of Sheetz in Hartville up to a grayish blue SUV and said, now she's so mad she's having a meltdown in the parking lot. She said, I called the police up there. They said, how dumb were you telling that guy that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied he was one of her doctors, and she actually don't know who he is. And when they bashed in her head, they tried to kill her, leave her incompetent, and it didn't work. And as soon as I told that guy, he broke up with me, and I really liked him, and I wanted to marry him. They said he's some kind of agent, and she's an informant. And we could all end up in jail for this. Carl heard it. Everybody heard it in that parking lot. Well, April 24th, 25, Summit Mall. The Texas group was up there. Muslims, other people. Some girls in the cartel are giggling that Michelle told on them about the doctor from before not being one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. Nobody can say a word to her ever again now. She told on them, and they're giggling. Another part of one of the guys, part of the cartel, said, you tell that guy Will that was to pull off a scam here to join us? That's all ruined because Michelle told on him that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors, and the whole thing is a scam. And you tell him that it's all ruined. And to take care of Michelle, and they threatened to kill her. Random places. Shave her head, make her work as a servant. And they find her, they were going to kill her. Well, I did a video last year telling her to get to the FBI, mention the case, get to the sheriff's office, mention the case, and see if she couldn't make a deal with the FBI if she had information on these people. Okay? They could flip her, put her on witness protection program. And because they find her, they will kill her. Lori's family member, they were making fun of where they took her family member, that they tied her up, and as they killed her, they cut her in pieces. How they killed her. It's like, dear God. get to a police station. Okay? May 25th, 25, I'm in Hollister's in Summit Mall. The teenage boys are laughing. Boy, did Bill from the Freemasons run the biggest scam here. Had some guy go in and drug her up and tell her to say that. Can you imagine that? Had another guy videotape her in the shower, washing herself, photoshopped that thing in the other room, and ran the scam of who could steal her money and scammed everybody into helping out. May 26, 25. Walmart 62. Part of the cartel comes in. We found out that they were making fun of Bill from the Freemasons' big scam of the dirty doctor not being one of hers, works for them, and they had lied he was her doctor. She doesn't know who he is, and the whole thing's a scam. Cartel's tired of Bill. And who do they think he is? Having them threaten Michelle. That other Michelle. Well, her and her friends went badass on him. Every time they found something, they went to the police and the FBI. Okay? August 4th, 25, they admitted to using hypnotic drugs. In the beginning of the case, they tried to tell everybody that they had sodium pentothal reports. They were drugging me to get the truth out of me, where they were drugging me and framing me. I had all the bruises, throwing up, infected, thought it was a dirty well water killing me. And here they're drug beating, raping me under drugs, and never talked to anybody. And I thought it was the orange well water I was showering in. I thought it was killing me. I thought it was toxic. And I told the doctor that I'd seen for those injuries all summer long at 18. Predators preying on people in their homes. Okay? August 5th, 25, as if Agent John didn't know, they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. He was telling everyone he knew she was being drugged, being raped before the case started. And he even let him torture her. Is he some kind of coward? August 7th, 25, investigators got him again, admitting to drugging her and telling her to say it before. And now what kind of drugs they used, and calling Agent John a coward. August 30th or 31st or 25 in Macy's and Summit Mall. There's men up there. One answered the phone. It is documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of those people. That's why she had a metal taste in her mouth. Nobody's allowed to say a word. Okay? Then after that, people were saying she only remembers coming in from working outside, washing her hands, making a sandwich and something to drink, going and using the bathroom, wash her hands, come out and take a drink. In the room at Disney and Black, they had already stabbed her in the hallway. They were hiding behind doors and reaching out and stabbing her. She don't remember. And I thought, they stabbed me. Why wouldn't I remember? Oh my God. We had bees. Big bee nest in the woods. Even where the large rocks are and there's 2 trees, there's a nest in the ground, and we had wasps up there. To take a broom and swat them was nothing if they got in the house. You don't think to look for a human being. You're walking through a hallway and you thought you got stung by one of those random bees getting in. You look for the bee or the wasp. Then you go sit down and take a drink in the room with Disney and Black. And here, some drug dealer reaching out and just jabbing you as you walk by. Carl's daughter, Audrey, said she watched a news thing on the cartel. Hypnotic drugs are their drug of choice. They'll load up syringes full, go to raves, big parties, walk around with those syringes, walk by and jab whatever kid they want. And keep walking. Wait a minute and then go back, and they'll leave with them willingly. and because you're sleepwalking. Hypnotic drugs, I Googled it. The dangers of using them. You're sleepwalking. You can eat, drink, drive a car, have sex, and have no memory. It chemically shuts down your conscious. And the dangers of using them. They're mind-controlling drugs. They admitted at 19 to Faith Family Church. They're fake sodium pentothal reports. We are using true serum water where they're drugging me and telling me to say stuff I found out. Never seen or talked to anybody. Never even had my neighbors in my home. I had family, repair guys, installation guys. We only had 3 cameras on the outside, and only the outside. Front porch, back porch, side yard. Okay? Nothing inside. Nothing to the end of the driveway. Okay? In August of 23 at midnight, I was talking to Dave and there was a light in the security system. I called 911. Officers came out. They were silly. They said, "Ma'am, it looks like an alien orb or an angry spirit." I thought they were dehydrated. I offered them water. We're not allowed to drink on duty. It's like, "Sir, it's hot out there. I'll give you some water." I thought the soul was, I thought that poor soul was dehydrated. Alien orb, angry spirit. He said, "You know how we handle it here in the country? We buy big dogs, open the door, and let the dogs handle it. Somebody else comes on your property. They weren't bothered." You know what's really sick? I probably caught one of those idiots coming over to rape me. Thought I was probably already in bed. They were just going to stab me. And I had the light in the security system outside. It's that sick. Predators. Drug dealers. Okay, November 23rd, 25. In Macy's and Summit Mall downstairs, some girls, that this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was already connected to us. And we asked him if we ran a scam on her, if he'd let us do it. And he said yes. If they made sure that he got everything during the divorce. I remember people saying that during the case. The deal is Dave gets everything during the divorce. They would announce that. I thought, what do you mean? Here, that was their deal. Okay. All right, December 1st, 25, Walmart 62 would still have it. Where that pretty Michelle, they threatened her life, her and her friends going badass. Well, she showed up at that investigator. Michelle showed up in my office, said this whole thing is a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is. And that guy Pete running his mouth about her, she don't even know who he is. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. She has no memory of these people. And the tape of Weird With Yourself is nothing but photoshopped of washing in the shower. And the whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. So where Henry Moffitt said that other Michelle's telling on us for what we're actually doing, they can't use it, he confessed. Oh, and the officers got him. And I have a judge's friend that'll enter all my tapes in court while the FBI's busy with Minnesota and turn all the cases money over to me. And I'll be long gone and steal all the cases money for myself. And pull a fast one on the FBI. I thought, over my dead body. I wrote the president. The OPR and the DOJ. Get the idea. I wrote the White House. Sent him a picture of that Henry Moffey from Instagram, his Facebook account. Looked him up, took the picture, and sent it in. Looks like that, but thinner. Okay. Well, that May 26, Dutch Valley Restaurant, Sugar Creek. We're sitting in a booth on the other half of the wall. There's like a half wall, I can't see over it. I could hear her on the other side. It's all these people are stealing from me. It's my family doing this for me to steal everything from me. I found out the drug dealers we hired to do this to her. That tape of Weird with Yourself, they photoshopped washing in the shower in the other room to make her look weird with herself. I seen her at a restaurant once. She isn't much to look at, Mom. And I heard she really let herself go. Oh, God. And the crap that was coming out of her mouth. Unreal. Okay. And all these people are stealing from me to get everything. Okay. Go forward. June 28th, 26. We went down to Carl's farm. We have a really bad heat wave right now, but where it's been raining all the time, he couldn't go mow the hay. So we're doing it like in little sections because it's too hot. It's too freaking hot to be out there. Well, we went down there. I went to use the bathroom at the Dollar General. Okay. Ladies outside on the phone. They said to find out what's going on, just take care of it, don't say a word. Some agent's been here telling everyone she's the biggest liar, and there was no one around her. Okay? And I heard what was wrong with her before, and it's stupid anybody calling her a faker. Well, I've been sitting in the car going out over how I got sick, to all the surgeries, my muscles locking up, to the medical malpractice, to getting well. Okay? And then strange thinking I was following Tim and Katie, and it was Linda following her husband, to him taking Danny, pushing him to suicide, and him making up that lie, call me a faker, to cover up Tim and Katie. And it was Linda following him, not me. Okay? And eventually throughout the day, I went through the money disappearing from the safe to car getting scratched up, to Dave getting caught with pot in his system, the attempted break-in, following or ending, the attempted kidnapping, the attempted carjacking, moving up there, someone kicking in my door, to the wall on the 6th day up there, to the next week having bruises on me, throwing up, and infected. The well water's orange, getting dizzy and almost passing out, and it was fine until I moved in that house. And then it kept happening to leading up to calling the FBI, and then what happened afterwards, and how that agent told on me, the way he talked to me on a recorded line, then the big incidences after that. Okay. Well, and I started playing some of my tapes of Dixie knowing of Melissa's Mean Games to Pretend they were all laughing about, to Dave breaking of a gunshot night. Okay. To Dave admitting he had threatened my life, had other people threaten me and harm me. To the Terry of seeing me almost kidnapped. To Terry even knowing of those people threatening another lady's life and scaring her that they were going to get her at her home in her office, to vandalizing Dee's house when one of her kids went and date one of their daughters. I played a lot of them. Okay. Well, we went to the gas station several times, the Speedway in Carrollton, to get gas. First time we pull in, there's some young guy talking to a girl, said they can't say a word to her. She even taped witnesses of knowing of Melissa's mean games to pretend they were laughing at. And Dave admitting she never caught him with anyone. Some girl thought she could confront her for threatening her, and she can't say a word. Do you realize how dumb you look? Of who are you and what are you talking about? And found out she taped her husband that she never caught him with anyone. So there'd be no one to threaten. They thought they could just do this. I know they're idiots. I go in, there's a heavy-set white man looked at me and said that they told me they were only making fun of you. I found out what's going on. Now this is funny. Well, we had went back down there. There was other men in there. They said, Agent John said that he said that she couldn't say anything. And because she said anything, he should be able to steal all our money. Then we found out how he told on her, and what he said on the recorder line is ridiculous. Nobody should say a word to her. Well, on the 28th, I had to go to work that night. Outside my work, there was men talking. Some guy said, I seen her today. It was probably that heavy-set one guy. Said he found out what's going on. He said, I told Melissa that there was no proof of anything. There's nothing you could do. Then I found out there's a real FBI case going on. And they taped Melissa's friends with that girl. And them telling, her telling those kids to lie for that girl to get everything. And those kids taped in a legally booked house in an FBI case. The police and the FBI were taping that they wanted the house for that girl. And that they made everything up. And they were games of pretend. He said, I found out some lady's getting ready to arrest Melissa. Soon as she would even try to say anything. You tell her, since she was taped by the police and the FBI, saying that they wanted that house for that girl, and they wanted everything for that girl, and they were making everything up, and they were games of pretend, she better tell everybody she knows they were all pretending. For that girl to get everything, and they were just making everything up, and they were just me jokes. You tell her to tell everybody she knows, and to everybody never to say a word to her again. That they were just pretending for that girl to get that house, and to get everything. They have her tape saying that? She better tell everybody that, or she'll end up in jail. He said, I heard some, he was going back about that lady. He said, I know about that lady. She is waiting to arrest Melissa. Soon as they thought they could dare say something, she's ready to pounce, and she's going to put her in jail for this, for being part of it. And she's going to arrest her in a heartbeat. He said, then you tell her to tell everyone. There are games of pretend they made up, and they were just joking around for that girl to get that house. And to get everything. Yeah. Where Officer Mark said, back in 18, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. If the rest of her kids are little. Why don't we just write it up that her and the kids were showing off for David and his new girlfriend? They're documenting mean jokes. Because what did they get taped stating? They made everything up. They were games of pretend. They called them out. Why are they having them make that shit up? Oh, they're trying to scare her into giving up the house. That's it. Whole family's speaking highly of her. Melissa's so stupid. She made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. To Contacted the Massillon Police, told them Mount Carmel, Illinois, June 23rd to July 4th of 21. They're documenting me in games of pretend. Where the sheriffs laughed at it, some guy named Kurt in May of 21. If he just found out those kids are lying, he is slow. October 5th, 21, Huntington Bank in front of client, talking about her lying then. He said, who's that crazy Melissa? They talk about lying everywhere we go. I said, the ex-star law friends with ex's girlfriend had the kids make up some mean games of pretend in front of the police on Thanksgiving 18. He's like, is she crazy? He's like, yes. He said, they're still talking about that girl lying. The police and FBI would only around me say they'll make up something, call you back word. They knew I didn't know because I was fishing with Dave. Okay. We only see Melissa and John usually on the holidays unless something happened. They have big careers. They had their own family. Unless they needed some holiday, they didn't come around. That's where I taped Dave. I hadn't seen those kids more than 5 minutes in a whole year and not alone. And on Christmas 17, when we took the bikes over, they weren't home. We had permission to leave them in the house with big name tags. We went back on Christmas Eve of 17. They're having a buffet dinner. They're making fun of him for having pot in his system. Got suspended at work. Like he didn't know what it was. He's 60. To ask them if they like the bikes. Why would we think you? Some other lady in the church bought them. Took my knee tags off. I didn't see him from there until I think I said March in a video, and it was May when we took John's stuff over. Now, John and Melissa had broke up 10, 20 times over 10 years. We try to stay out of it. They're adults. It's their lives. Don't fight in front of the kids, though. Okay? He called me. She's leaving me again. He said, don't say anything. Well, we stay out of it anyways. We pull in, see her packing through the window. She comes out, hi, John's not here, or something like that. And why, what are you doing? Oh, we got John's stuff. Oh, put it against the house. Did you close on your new house? Da 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 da. Polite conversation while Dave's unloading it. Kids run out, hi, and waving at us and chasing each other because they're little. It's the last time I seen her. Now, a few days later, and I didn't leave the end of the truck where I was talking to her, okay? It only took Dave 2 or 3 minutes to unload that stuff, okay? A few days later, we had went down to Danny's, loaded up a truck and trailer, went down to Walmart Massillon. John and the kids are in there, and they're little, and they're running at us. Grandma, Papa, what you doing here? Buying curtains, what are you doing? I don't know. Moment in time past each other. I didn't see them again until the 4th. They were an hour late. They had went to a park. Lost track of time. We had already ate, already did my dishes. We're having coffee. He comes in. They all sit down on the couch. I take everybody's picture real quick. Make up some plates. They take 2 bites, yell, pillow fights, and run to the basement. Our basement it's a split level house, so it had a sectional couch. It was a family room. TV, full bathroom, laundry room, and my puppies. And it's air conditioning and it's a 4th. It's really hot out. John, Noah, and Dave were playing catch out front. They grabbed their mitts and went out front. I grabbed 2 bottles of water. Jenna and I went and sat on the front porch. Gabe's riding around the lawnmower. You can hear him giggling and playing outside. About 40 minutes later, it got too warm. We went in to have dessert. We get dished up. We don't even sit down. Dave came in. John left us like, well, I didn't say goodbye. He's in a hurry. He has several places to go because it's the 4th. He just wanted the kids to see the house. I didn't see him again until the FBI was there. Get the idea? John brought Kelsey, when John and Melissa were broke up for over a year at one point. He started going out with this girl, Kelsey. They have a daughter now, Riley. Brought Kelsey, Riley, and Noah. They came in, looked at the house. He said, you want to go to Pizza Hut in Ravenna? I said, sure, and I rode up front. And we went in there and we ate. It was nice. And John dropped me off in the driveway. I had Dave verify. I hadn't been alone. I think I've seen him more than 5 minutes for the whole year. That's like, what the hell? That's where, when I heard him say, the house wasn't meant for me, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa. Look down there in a huddle saying crazy crap. Go sit down next to Dixie and the baby, and I thought, Michelle, Auntie Shell, is it Michelle Cowgill? Flora runs up, they're saying mean things in the basement. Go up to John, what's going on? I don't know. He said, I told Melissa, his ex-wife, he just divorced her, that you're going through a divorce, going to be moving out. She'll have the kids make up something. Don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Just because of the divorce. You'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Just because of the divorce. I said, well, you shouldn't have said anything until it happened. But I did, and because I did. And it's just made up because of the divorce, and I told him you're moving out. And nobody can say anything bad about you. Don't worry about it. And he shoots me. Well, like a year later, Melissa pulled a mean stunt with him. She broke in their home. Or didn't break in. How do I restate that? She dropped off the kids. They're divorced. They have their own separate homes. She dropped off the kids. He got everybody settled. He went in the bathroom. She just walked in. You can't just walk in somebody's home. She hid. He doesn't know she's there. He walks out of the bathroom. She screams, lunging at him. He shoved her. He was startled. She had him arrested. She laughed, now I got you. Had him arrested, domestic violence. That is not domestic violence. Ohio is a stand your ground law. It was his home, not hers. She had no right walking in it. He lost his kids for a year. He called me up and asked me to be a reliable name to pick up Kenzie Carrington and Noah after school. I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I don't get off the first one, let alone the second. I'm sorry, I can't help you, but Mom, these are my kids. If you don't help me, I'll lose them forever. I said, John, I'll lose my apartment. He said, but Mom, if you don't help me and be a reliable name on a court record to pick up my kids. He said, I'll lose them forever. These are my kids. Please help me. I said, John, I'll lose my apartment. He ended up losing his kids. I couldn't help him. I barely made it. He lost his kids. He moved to Florida years ago. Met this new woman. Married her. They started a church and they have a baby. June 3rd, 23, electricians had pulled in. My son was a big shot in the electrical union. Had 3 offices, has thousands of contacts, even was a professor in the vocational college teaching how to be an electrician. And he was a manager in several offices, has thousands of contacts. Several electrical companies pull in and said, hey, isn't that John's mom? He said she's never hurt anybody, and because of these people, He may never see his mom again. And it's just because of these people. And that's his mom. I know. And he said she's never hurt anybody. They thought they could walk into an FBI office, those people. That girl said the drug dealers they hired to do this to me. That was laughing that they're doing all this for. June 26, 26. Thought they could set up bot cameras, Photoshop washing, have them drug me with hypnotic drugs, tell me to say something, take it into an FBI office, and they'd hand them money. Like they're a bunch of country bumpkins. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if she says anything, she won't get her money? It's blackmail, obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness, and extortion out of government funds, and a crime against the U.S. government. It's 20 to life. What is a jail sentence for a judge signing it? 10 to 20. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent? If he says it, if he tells an informant if they say anything, they won't have protection. This is attempted murder, aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness. It's 20 to 30 years. What is a jail sentence for a judge signing it? Same. Can't be in a court order. He was only bullying me. See, that's where the cartel's laughing if the FBI don't care. The drug dealer's gonna walk for that agent defrauding her. I'm gonna upload this.